What up? What up?
You know. What's good,
How's
Ben
it going?
Goosen?
I'm doing real
I
good. What's going on with you, man?
can't can't complain, man. It's the end of the week. Got some wrestling. Got some
Yeah,
wrestling. I'm
yeah.
good.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm
we
good, man. I'm excited.
we tied for our TLC predictions.
I know that's a wash.
Yeah, yeah. It's terrible, but
That's a
eh, it was all good. What'd you think of the show? We got a lot to get. Well, not too much to get into. I mean, just a normal week, I guess.
yeah, normal week. I actually loved the show, to be honest with you. It wasn't the overall it wasn't the greatest SmackDown pay-per-view, but the matches were starting to heat up, like the Kalisto and uh, Baron Corbin match. That's where it really started to pick up, man. Like those guys went. Like I was like,
Yeah,
all right, well,
they gave him time.
yeah, welcome to the main roster because you guys have been on the pre-show for so long, man. We forgot you guys could wrestle, so it was actually good to see them go.
Yeah, they gave him some time. I like how it started off with Kalisto going in with the chairs,
Hmm.
because obviously he was much smaller and he used his speed, and they kept talking about his speed. And I thought the finish was real good with Corbin hitting into days. And yeah, man, it was. I thought I'm glad Alexa won for sure. I think it'll be a fun feud with Alexa and Becky chasing the title back, and Alexa rubbing it in her face that I beat you and you could only beat me when the ref makes a mistake. However, Becky could say, well, you never pinned me, so you didn't pin me, you didn't make me tap out.
That's
So
right.
make me, pin me, make me tap out. So it's they both have good arguments to continue the feud on how it's gonna go. What'd you think of the women's match?
I loved it, man. And I said it during our prediction week, man. Alexa is something special, man. She is like legitimately, she's something special, man. She's great. Hopefully, everyone sees how great she is in the mic. Like she can story tell. The ring psychology was like great. She knew she had to outsmart and outwit Becky Lynch, and that's the angle that she went for, and it was brilliant, it was perfect, and I'm so happy for her, man. She deserves this title reign, and I think that the women's division on SmackDown, as great as it is right now, I think it benefits more having a really good heel person, and a lot of great faces like chasing the title. So very, very, very excited.
Yeah, you know what I was a fan of? I liked when they kept setting up the table but not using it,
Yes.
because they didn't use it, and they did some pretty cool moves on some tables and stuff like that, but they didn't use it. So at the end through the power bomb, because it was pretty set up, like pretty obvious the power bomb was coming, but I honestly thought, no, 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 this isn't going to be the spot where the match ends, because they've set up all these other table spots. This one, looks pretty obvious what's going to happen. No, no, this isn't going to be it. This isn't. And then boom, she went through it, and it caught me and I think a lot of the fans off guard. Like it was something. I don't know. I thought it was a cool little switch. The rest of the card was um, the main event. Like outside of the main event, I mean, that main event was. Is AJ Styles Wrestler of the Year? You know what we got to do this. You know what we got to do?
What we gotta do?
End of year awards.
Yeah, buddy.
This is our first end of year for the podcast. We got to do. So we got. Okay. What do and we're going off topic. I know, but it's
Oh,
all right
good. There ain't no
because
topic, man.
I
It's
don't give a
real
shit.
wrestling,
Yeah.
baby. We make it up as we go. It's not no scripts and nothing like that. We just let
Yeah.
it go and go. Let's go.
It's our podcast.
That's
So
right.
we have a UFC review coming up for the Rousey fight. We've got a couple of. We got actually a really cool interview coming up. So we're gonna have to find some time. Maybe before the UFC preview, you and I will do like a 20-minute end of year awards on who's winning what. What do you say? Yeah, that's a good idea. What do you
I
say?
like it, man. I say that we. How many categories do you think we should be doing?
56.
56 categories. Okay. Damn. Best trash picker.
Yeah, best trash talker, best talker of trash. We're gonna have all these different awards.
Okay. Well, we say,
I don't know,
what we say, we let the movement pick some of these awards. What do you think about that? In terms of
we
the
can,
categories.
we can,
So,
yeah, we'll do that.
all right, so we'll put that right here. So we're gonna pick some categories on our own, but we need some help from the movement. So you listening to this, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through the audio podcast, you shoot us guys some categories that you would like to nominate, and we will discuss and we will award those nominations accordingly. Hit us up at
Yeah.
Real WrestleCast. Use that hashtag, baby, IRWP. Let's get this thing going.
Yes. Give us just some suggestions, and don't pick like best superstar of the year. Anybody could pick that. Just come up with something creative outside of, I mean, the superstar of the year, match of the year. Those will be the obvious ones, but we got to collectively give the award. Damn. So that means that means me and you are gonna have to agree
What was that?
on the award, because it's the IRWP award. That's like wrestler of the year. So I know I'm not. You might pick Black Neville, and I'm gonna pick commentator of the year, David Otunga. And I know you're not gonna pick David Otunga. So we'll get together behind the scenes.
He's gonna get the Dunce of the Year, son. That boy can't talk on the mic. All he tries to do is show. He can't sell for nobody. Why is he even on my TV? Let's get that guy go. Let's go.
You know, it's funny because with David Otunga, I came up with an idea. Did I tell you about this?
No.
We went to lunch the other day. I don't know if I told you about this. Did I? Well,
Oh,
if not, we gotta let the followers listen.
That was a good lunch.
So, yeah, what do we have? Wings or something like that?
Oh, man, we had sushi.
No, that's right. So, yes, we went to. Did I tell you that I had this idea of David Otunga brings Jennifer Hudson into the picture?
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets mad at Andre from Empire. So we have an Andre versus David Otunga feud, and Andre takes over on commentary. Andre,
I love it, son. I think
Did I
that's
tell you
a
about that?
genius.
have I told you? I don't remember if I told you about
we heard it, man. I just wanted I wanted the movement to hear it as well, man. That's all that was. Little pandering to the crowd. I like that.
and,
We'll make
and
that happen,
in that
man.
match. In that match, what's going to happen is just when you expect the Jennifer Hudson heel turn on Otunga to join Andre, no. She gets up on the apron. Lucius comes through the crowd, and she kisses Lucius to distract Otunga. Andre with the roll up from behind. He gets the pin. She walks off with Lucius. Hakeem comes out. They all stand up, and they all stand up on the ramp. The Lion Empire and the WWE. Thank y'all.
Boom.
At Ben Deuce, and I'm out.
That's it. What's the name? What's the name of this episode, baby? Tell them what the name of this episode is.
Tables, ladders, and heel turns, baby.
That's right.
I'm telling you. If we could bring the Lion Dynasty. And by the way, I heard there's this show called Power. I think it's on Stars. Have you heard of it?
No.
So apparently, I've heard from friends and 50 Cent's in it. And they said it's like Empire 2.0 because it's on Stars, so they can cuss and all that shit. So I might have to watch Empire or Power. I've heard through several people that it's like an upgraded Empire. So I might have to check it out.
When we talking upgrade, are we talking about like storylines that last the entire season? Or are we talking about like storylines that last half an episode?
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I know since it's on Stars, they can have cussing, nudity. I bet because Empire's on Fox, so you could be a bit racier. So I don't know. I don't know if it was longer. I'll watch a couple episodes, maybe by the end of the year, and then give you my thoughts. And if it's worth our time, then we'll check it out.
Okay.
But that's my thought. The Lion Dynasty invades Raw. Drip, drop. That's the name of his finisher, by the way.
That's it. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang,
So,
bang, bang.
dude, could you? That's my shout out of the week. If the Lion Dynasty came to Raw, they would be entertaining as hell. Like the ruckus they would cause. Oh, it'd be great. Cookie would be the Divas champion or the SmackDown
Yes,
champion in a heartbeat,
yes, she would. She got all that sass.
and she'd be fighting Anika at WrestleMania.
Ooh, boo boo kitty.
Like for
Bring
real,
your
like could you
friends.
imagine
Bring
Thirsty?
your friends.
Thirsty would be the shadiest manager in the world.
Yeah, he would.
Shadiest. All right, we digress. AJ Styles had the greatest match, TLC match that I've seen in a long time. Yes, his pants ripped, but it was funny when you first saw it. But after that, I didn't care. Like I thought, who cares? Like, and if you notice, I don't think the commentators even maybe they mentioned it in a comment, but the commentary they didn't even mention it that much. So it just got played off completely, which was cool.
Yeah, they tried to they acknowledged it, but after it started to become a distraction of the match with the crowd, then that's when they had to kind of acknowledge it. The thing that pissed me off about that though was the fact that the producers decided to censor, try to censor it from the network. Like they were zooming in, and like literally for a good 2 minutes in the match, you were seeing them from like the shoulders up. Who watches wrestling from the shoulders up? What the?
Yeah,
Come on, man. That's
yeah,
just ridiculous. And then it was like 2 or 3 minutes after that, they were like, "Man, flip it. Who cares?" And they panned out, man. But you can't do that, man. And stuff like that, it happens. It's not like his balls were hanging out. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Or a boob popped out or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's no
Come
nudity.
on,
There's
man.
nothing.
It was nothing, man. And for whatever, you got a great match. You got free publicity. And I mean, come on, man. The match was great, man. Even the ending, I absolutely loved the ending for 2 reasons. One, because I get to see James Ellsworth get his ass beat again, son. I love it.
Yeah,
But two, like his motivation was nothing short of just him thinking that he has a better shot at beating AJ than Dean Ambrose. Even though Dean was literally going to get the title, I loved it because I mean there were subtle hints throughout the previous weeks that was leading you to believe that that was like his motivation. I don't really call it a heel turn so much because he wasn't really aligning himself with anyone. It's just he honestly feels that he can beat AJ better than Dean can, and when when that match comes, man, I'm just gonna be marking out. But I'm gonna get a bowl of popcorn. I'm gonna get some drinky drink. I'm just gonna be like, yeah,
Michael Jackson Thriller.
that's right.
So that was the reason. So he thought, like, because remember he came out first when AJ was about to climb the ladder. So do you think he came out to make at first in his mind? And maybe this makes more sense now that I think about it. So he came out originally to make Styles lose, but then he had a moment mid-match where he thought, "Wait a minute, wait. Why am I making AJ lose if I've beaten this guy 3 times? This is the guy I want to win, so I could beat him later." Is that what happened?
Yeah, so I mean, I honestly think that like he feels like if Dean gets the championship, like there's just no way he can beat with his momentum. He doesn't feel like he can beat him as champ, or that even better, that Dean would even give him a shot at the title because the way that Dean has been kind of like passing him off, right? But AJ, like he's beaten AJ 3 times. He doesn't acknowledge how he's beaten him, but he's beaten him 3 times. He's like, well, look, man, if I can get in with AJ, I can get the belt. I have enough momentum to beat anyone I want. You know, I think that that's kind of the way the psychology is with James Ellsworth, and I love it. And it wasn't too much. It was just they were playing off of the subtle hints in the previous weeks that this was all going to happen, and I absolutely thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, the match was awesome. And like at first when I saw it, I was like, "Hey, what the hell is this?" And before you explained that just now, I watched SmackDown this week, and SmackDown was pretty good as always. But when Ellsworth kind of explained himself, but when Dean came out, gave him a Dirty Deeds while his music was still playing.
Yeah,
Dirty Deeds, and then just flat out went straight to the back. I was like, yo, this is great. Yo, this is great. This is awesome. And Styles was just looking down like, idiot. Not on my side. I can care less about this guy.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So is Styles hurt? What's his injury status?
Yeah, so apparently that spot that he had on the outside, he ended up tweaking or twisting his ankle. It was towards the middle-ish to the end of the match.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm so he must have just been on pure adrenaline at that point, man. And yeah,
This was
so
before or after the 450 splash?
this was the 450. Oh no, the 450 splash was. Oh god, that
At
was
the
so
end.
sick. That was so sick.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was right before that.
Okay,
So
because that was kind of.
I haven't gone back to watch it, but yeah, that apparently that's where it happened, somewhere in that vicinity. But I mean, hell, dude, like yes, greatest of all time. Yes, he is the greatest of all time. I'm gonna say it now, man. AJ Styles is the greatest of all time, and he's definitely the greatest wrestler of the year, man. He is, man. He just it's insane, man. Like we were worried about this cat in February, March when he was jobbing out to pretty much everyone, and now this dude is like, and Vince can't be happy. Like he can't be happy, man. Like his best talent is someone that came from TNA, man. This is strange times, man. Strange times.
Yeah, I think it was good. I'm glad he got a week off of Raw or off of SmackDown. I mean, I'm glad he got a week off. Take time to heal up. I mean, he didn't really have to wrestle at this point to heal it up. You know, he could take honestly about 2-3 weeks off just to heal up a little bit and come out, cut a promo, maybe get attacked, but put no pressure on the foot. Just kind of have, or maybe he'll probably do a tag team match or just something light duty. So in I think it was the main event of SmackDown. Ellsworth. Speaking of Ellsworth and Ambrose. Ellsworth came out and he was apologizing to Dean during the match, right?
Yes.
And then that's what distracted Dean and caused him to lose. So do you think that we're going to have a Miz-Ambrose feud, or are we going into a Ambrose-Ellsworth feud? Where do you see that going?
Oh, man.
Where do you see Miz and Dean going?
Well, you already know what I think Miz is going.
Well, for the short term. Up until WrestleMania.
Because if you watch Talking Smack, which it sounds like you didn't, it's going down for real, son. And that's why I tweeted you, letting you know that it's about to go happen. And you know what? I don't know how you did it, but you somehow finagled the numbers, bro. I know you did, because we was like at 74% of people said it was gonna happen, and then the poll just went polar opposite way. So I know you've called your buddies up to kind of change that poll or something, but
created 50 Twitter accounts. That's what I did.
That's what you did.
The polls are wrong, like our president says, our future president. The polls are wrong.
Did I just get hit with the Ben Goosen, the Goosenplex? Is that what just happened right now?
Yeah. So who do you think he's going to feud with? Because the Ziggler feud was on point, and it's done. It's got to be done.
Yeah, that match. First off, kudos to both of those guys, because that match was. I hate the fact that it got overshadowed by the great match in the main event, but that match was absolutely spectacular. And my favorite part of that entire match was when both of them were at the top of the ladder. And Dolph Ziggler was hitting the Miz, over and over and over again. He had like his hand on the ladder, and like as he was getting hit, he just had his other hand just like I'm gonna lose my title. I can't. It's right there. And he was just getting pummeled, and then he took that sick ass bump. And not only did he take that bump, he sold getting his. Oh, that was the other part. So, God, that was two great spots, man. So that was great. Yeah. Well, no, yeah, he kicked him nuts afterwards of that. But I love that because it was storytelling of how important the Intercontinental title was to him. That like subconsciously, he was, trying to reach for the title even though he was getting hit at the same time. So I love that spot there. The other spot that I loved was the fact that like when the Miz had when he was hanging from the or hanging from the title in the middle of the match, and then ended up like getting drop kicked and fell, and he sold tweaking his knee. I absolutely loved that because it was not foreshadowing per se, but it was kind of like you had to remember a few weeks back on Talking Smack that him and Daniel Bryan had this whole debate about like was not even debate, but it's just an argument that hey, I never get hurt and I
Yeah,
never get injured. Yeah, and he sold the heck out of it, man. Like he rolled out of the ring and said, "Son of a." I was like, dude, no, it can't end like this. So kudos to those guys, man, because that was just a fantastic match.
yeah, yeah, a great match. So, where do you see him going, man?
So I, I don't honestly, I think Daniel Bryan is going to keep putting people in front of the Miz, and to the point where he's like, you can throw anybody at me, it doesn't matter. You can throw Baron Corbin at me, it doesn't matter. You're not getting this title off of me unless you pry it from my cold dead hands. I think that that's how the Miz's storyline is going to go.
But
For
who do you
Dean
think he's
Ambrose,
feud with next, though? There's nobody on the
I,
roster. Kalisto?
nah, it's not going to be cool. At least, though, man. I would throw. So the problem with throwing Baron Corbin is he's a heel.
Correct. So that won't happen. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, Dolph Ziggler is
So that
probably
won't
going to Corbin. They're going to do a mini feud again.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, you can still do it with. You could do it with jobbers, man. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like superstars, but just throwing the storyline because now is the time to do it. Like, just if you're gonna have this match, this fight that it looks like it's gonna happen, it's got to be you throwing people in front of him, and you know, he's beating him. He's beating his skin while he's doing it. He's getting under his skin while he's doing it, and to the point where like I gotta take this guy out myself. So I think that's where the Miz is going. As far as Dean Ambrose, I honestly, man, I don't know. Like I don't know where you put Dean Ambrose. Like you can't just keep him at the top. Um, uh, I mean, maybe he's just gonna feud with Ellsworth a little bit, but I mean that's gonna get old pretty quick too. So, um, I mean, and I don't know, maybe a tag team. I don't know, dude. I honestly I don't know where you put.
SmackDown doesn't have any pay-per-views between now and Royal Rumble, right?
I don't think so. I think Royal Rumble is
So
the
they
next
have
one. Wouldn't it,
a month and a half, about 7 weeks
yep.
to
That
come up
long
with a
stretch we
number
were
one
talking about.
contender. Yeah, they got the long stretch to come up with a number one contender for AJ's title, and I don't even know who that'll be. Who's the second biggest face on SmackDown?
Taker.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be Taker if he's really coming back. Um, I just don't know. I don't know who else could take this step up, especially since Bray and Randy Orton are in the tag team. Which, by the way, them winning the tag titles, that little finisher that they have was awesome. I mean, we all knew they were going to win that match for sure.
Yep.
But the finisher they have is cool, and I can't wait to see other people. The Sister Abigail into an RKO. I can't wait to see other people sell it because I think it'll be awesome. Did you hear that they officially announced that they defend the titles on the Freebird rule?
I saw it circulating online. Don't know what I don't know. I missed the announcement. So, but yeah, that I think that's amazing. I like that. But you know what? The funny thing is, like we were talking about this before that announcement even was made. Like we were talking about it on Sunday. That the way that they were giving Luke Harper the titles seemed as though they were going to do it like the Freebird rule kind of thing,
Yeah,
which I thought was cool. But I think that it would be even better if they went after another title.
I agree.
So
Do you think they'd Freebird rule a singles title?
God, that would be amazing, man. I think that would be
That'd be
amazing.
a first.
Yeah, that'd be a first. I mean, it's possible, man. If we can get Harper, not Harper, Rowan back,
Roman?
yeah, that damn, that would be sick. Like that would, and then just run roughshod on everyone. Like when I say everyone, I mean like everyone. Like singles match comes out with Baron Corbin and Kalisto, and the Wyatts just show up and just roughshod both of them. And then two segments
Yeah.
go by, and you have Breezango and you have American Alpha, and the Wyatts just run roughshod all the same night. Like that would be amazing. Like I would mark out for that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. So I thought SmackDown overall was a decent show. We see, I think it was just a follow up to the pay per view they have. So I don't think they wanted to start too much because they have the long stretch coming up. So we'll probably see
Mm-hmm.
some stuff formulate here in the next week. I thought that it was better than Raw. I thought Raw was, it is just my opinion. I thought Raw was decent. I mean, it was Raw. I mean, I guess Jericho and Kevin Owens are gonna not be best friends for a while, and Kevin Owens, I guess, is gonna start to see how bad he needs Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's how it's gonna work.
It seems
But
like that's the storyline.
we could agree that Jericho is gonna, or Kevin Owens and Jericho are gonna probably fight, if not at the Rumble, at the Extreme Rules or Elimination Chamber or whatever it is that they have between that and the WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, I think so. I have, oh gosh. So something bothered me about Raw, just the setup of it and stuff. So more so the Roman Reigns and Chris Jericho match. First off, kudos to both of those guys. Like that match was
Yeah, great match.
phenomenal. It was a great match. I don't know why that wasn't on the main event. And that in itself is a different topic. But um, the thing that bothered me, like I think it would have made more sense if Chris Jericho beat Roman Reigns, like whether dirty, whatever. It would have made more sense and made the pay per view for Roadblock better. Because I don't think, I honestly don't think the champ is going to drop the title to Roman Reigns. But
No, he won't be a double champ.
it would be more intriguing if he didn't have the title going into it. And plus, this is going to be another damn pay per view where we don't have the U.S. title defended.
Correct. So I don't
Which
think Roman Reigns should be a double champ at all.
no,
But
I'm trying to pull a McGregor and Bobby Lashley. Like I don't support. I would only support it if they were fighting like two times during the night. Like when when Rollins was a double champ, he defended both belts in the same night.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's a short period of time. And then he blew out his
yeah, yeah, true. So that just bothered me, man. And then yeah, SmackDown was good. I enjoyed SmackDown. I I'm still I'm a little concerned about the announcing team though, just a bit
on SmackDown or Raw.
on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's the one with four people. Is it? They have four people now.
Yeah, it's crowded.
Yeah,
It's crowded, but like I feel I feel in my bones that Morrow is going to be on his way out, whether from SmackDown. I don't know whether or not from the company or not, but I have this funny feeling that he's going to just be out, and it terrifies me, man. Like Tom Phillips is a great commentator. I like him. Don't get me wrong, I do, but a he's not a substitute for Mauro Ranallo. And I know Morrow's been telling us that he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, and no, of course it's the work thing to do, right? But I have this sensation. I've got this feeling in my bones that he's just gonna end up leaving. Whether it's by, I don't think it's his decision. I just don't think that Like I don't know, man. Like it's it's like you mentoring somebody to take your job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think four. I guess they're just trying something new out, but four is a bit much. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know why you would go with a four-man team unless you felt something was lacking
Hmm.
versus Raw's team, and I think Raw's team works well because Michael Cole. I mean, he's just like him, love him or hate him, call him moves wrong or whatever. He's just been around for for forever, so he can kind of keep the flow going of things. So I'm a fan
I need to sleep.
versus versus Raw's. You know what I don't like is Sami Zayn lost to Kevin Owens. So is this guy just like a mid card jobber? Is that what his thing is now? He's just really good in the ring, and he's just I don't know. And he was supposed to feud with Braun Strowman, but he hasn't. But then he does the next week, but then he doesn't. So is he just in mid card doom?
He beat Sami Zayn clean, didn't he?
Yep, yep.
So how how do you book a match against Braun Strowman when you're when your champ just beat the person who's going to fight him clean?
Yeah.
Like this should have been a protected finish. It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been clean, man. Like I,
Well, I agree that the champ should win clean, like just to establish dominance as the champ.
yeah, but not at the expense of someone else's storyline that you're obviously trying to build
Exactly.
up.
Exactly. Or maybe Braun Strowman. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't have fought Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it's either that or, and I know the roster is kind of thin right now because of the whole wrestling for the troops right now that's going on. So I get that, like, and I completely understand it, but it's the little things that make it better. It should have been a protected finish. Who wants to watch Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman now? Like, I mean, for those who weren't interested in it before, or well, they're not going to be interested in it now. But those who
No,
were
definitely not.
interested in it before are definitely not going to want to see it now.
No, it's up there with like a Kalisto and Corbin. Luckily, Kalisto and Corbin surprised us and actually had a really good feud. And I'm glad that that feud wasn't like a big guy squashes a little guy all the time. That Corbin actually sold for him and couldn't beat the speed and all that stuff. So I thought that was cool, but that's not going to happen with Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman whatsoever.
I just, yeah, it's not, man. I, dude, I'm convinced that the writing teams are just completely different.
They've got to be. They've got to be. I
It's like
think.
night and day, man. This is like literally, this isn't even the B squad, bruh. This is like the D leagues.
Oh, yeah, man, it's tough because they have the 3 hour show and all. One thing that I do like that Raw has incorporated, and they have the time for this, SmackDown doesn't have that extra hour, is, and I don't know if they cut this out of Hulu. Did you see the whole Enzo beatdown that Rusev gave him?
I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Let's get right into it, son.
That
Because
that was my favorite moment of Raw because they Raw has time to do the silly, pre-edited, pre-recorded decay or delete. They have the time to do that pre-edited storyline stuff that's away from the premises, away from the arena. They have the time to do that. Those gimmicky things. I think that I love it. I think it's cool. It's just something different rather than start the show with an in-ring promo, gets interrupted, match, promo backstage, match, promo backstage, match, promo, match, promo, match. So it's just something different, like that happens out in the real world. Like I wouldn't be surprised if one day somebody's getting like some Starbucks one day and beat up at the local Starbucks throughout the day, and somebody says, "Oh, how'd you know where Rusev was going to be?" Man, he put it on Instagram that he was at the Starbucks downstairs at the hotel. So I went downstairs and I knew where he was at, and I took him out. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have I'm not saying every single week, but I thought it was cool, man.
Yeah, 2 weeks straight, man. I can't be I can't complain about that. But let me ask you a question, Goose, because I feel like I already know the answer to this one. But so the segment was, and the segment itself was on Raw. I'm sorry, on Hulu. But during the first part of the segment where Enzo and Cass are talking, and then they overhear Lana, and then they scoots over there, and eventually Enzo's by himself next to Lana. Something interesting happened, and I want to know if it happened live. Right before Enzo and Lana were about to do their talking speech, it faded to black. So,
No,
Goose, was there a commercial? Because as soon as it came back from black, like there was a commercial that was inserted in between, then they started their talking speech.
no, it was live. Like he showed up because Rusev was talking bad to Lana, left Lana crying, not crying, but all
Yep.
sad.
Yep.
And he just started off, "Hey, how you doing?" And he started talking, and then they talked for like maybe a minute, and he said, they did their little spiel, and then when she said, whatever room she was in, then he did his dance that they normally cut out that they didn't.
Yeah. So, but before you hit the "how you doing" piece, it faded to black. Like there was a commercial. Then it came up, and then they finished that segment just like you said.
No, I don't know why I did that. That's
Dude,
weird.
I was pissed. I'm like, how are you gonna? It's already a short show. Why are you gonna edit even more of the segment, like show it in its entirety, man? It's like, the only reason why I didn't get completely upset is because they showed his dance in its entirety. So I can't be mad
Yeah,
at that. But that beatdown, yo, that
they
was so
jacked up at
great.
hell.
That was so great. And Lana's heel turn was just, oh man, I love it. Yo, that Rusev, he's definitely getting an award from IRWP, whether Goose likes it or not. That boy's getting an award. He might be walking away with 4. We don't know. But he's getting at least one award, I'm telling you.
Yeah, man, I love that. Like it was, they set up Big Cass. So obviously Big Cass is going to fight Rusev eventually, but they set up Big Cass by beating up Enzo, and it was off-site, and they suckered him with an old storyline. Like Enzo went for the girl, and that's what happens. So I thought it was cool, man. I like that backstage or the pre-recorded segments.
Seems like a SmackDown writer slipped that storyline to Raw.
Yeah,
Because that was definitely SmackDownish right there, man. They
yeah,
gave him a
yeah.
freebie.
So the rest of Raw was, and me, it was but I guess closing where Charlotte, I mean, we saw that coming, right? Like Charlotte being disrespectful to her dad, like
Yeah, but
that was obvious, right? We saw that coming from a mile away.
we did. Like we knew that was coming, but then um this thing pisses me off, bro. Like this is what I was talking about last week, man. This whole seesawing back and forth. Charlotte's gonna win the damn title at Roadblock or whatever and whatever. But I've been noticing while I was watching the rest of Raw tonight, I noticed I've been noticing a trend, and they I think it was Charlotte who actually kind of hinted at it. No, it was actually Sasha that actually hinted about it, about making history, right? So these girls have had cage matches. They've had the main event spot on multiple occasions. They've had um, what else have they had? They had the cage match, the Hell
Hell
in
in a
a
Cell, yeah.
Cell cage match, and now they're having an Iron Woman match. So outside debuting these women as the main event at WrestleMania, which is probably the last thing. Those are 4 pretty big spots in less than a 5 months time span. I feel like they're fast tracking these two to do everything because one of them is going to be leaving.
No, but one of them might go to SmackDown after next year, so they
Either
got to milk this for what it's worth.
SmackDown or maybe a baby on the way. I mean, I'm only speculating, but
No,
uh,
no, no. You can't wrestle when you're pregnant, man.
I know, man. I'm just saying. I mean, a, a McMahon is now in the president's cabinet, and all of a sudden we fast tracking things now. I'm assuming that's what's happened. Maybe she's running for office. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Sasha's gonna be running for office. She's got to get all
She's
her
gonna marry
matches
Vince
in.
McMahon. She's gonna marry Vince McMahon and take over Linda's wife. That's what it is.
I'm just saying, man. I feel like they're fast tracking these women to do all these making history matches because one of them is going to leave. I have this feeling, Goose.
Yeah, well, I doubt it. I can't see it, man. They're so young. Charlotte's definitely not leaving, if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah, she's probably a lifer, but I mean, Sasha just got married. Maybe she's
Yeah,
getting
no,
baby
she's got
fever.
too much. How old is Sasha?
She's like 25, 26.
Yeah, she got plenty of time to get knocked up. Plenty of time. So, other than what would you give Raw? Like, if you were to give it a grade this week, we pretty much talked about Raw and SmackDown. Obviously, SmackDown was better, but if and then that's like a no-brainer. But what would you actually give Raw? Like, if you had to give a grade?
If I had to give a grade for Raw, I would give it a 5. But after seeing Chris Jericho's tattoo, I don't know if you saw it, underneath his bicep, had the Jason tattoo on top of
Yeah,
the
I've seen it.
the Canada. That was pretty
Yes.
hot, man. So for that, I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, I guess a 6.5. Six, 6.5, with SmackDown being an 8. Um, just because SmackDown wasn't bad, an 8 isn't a bad score. Just gets an 8.
Yeah, SmackDown took a while to kind of heat up, and it's kind of to be expected with like that. The matches that they had on TLC were just insane matches from like the entire roster. So I could see them being a little banged up and not at 100%. Like they need a recharge, so I can't even fault them. I can't even dock them for that. So
Yeah, I agree. You know, I started watching Total Divas this week. I've never seen that show consistently in my life, but I figured there was a marathon or something on. No, it's not a bad show. Like this season, oh, and I don't know how many episodes there are into the season, but they're on where Paige is starting to date Del Rio, and then
mhm.
she's starting to no-show events, and they're showing all that backstage drama that goes along with that, and she's starting to get
Oh,
in trouble. Yeah,
isn't
like they're
like they
starting to
putting
show
her on
all that.
blast?
Pretty much, like I didn't know
Why?
this, but she no-showed an entire weekend's of event, and they were supposed to leave from Orlando, catch a flight from Orlando to wherever the show was, but instead she took a left turn on from Orlando and went straight to San Antonio to be with Del Rio. No showed for a weekend. Showed up on Monday, and the backstage crew, like the head writer guy, was like, "Yeah, you're late." And no, and they're supposed to be there at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock on the day of Raw. She showed up at 6, and he was like, "You're trying to show up at 6 when we got a show going on in an hour, and I'm supposed to write something in for you. Where were you?" And Paige went off about how she was emotionally distressed,
Mhm.
and she hadn't been on TV in a while, so she wasn't used to not being busy. She's used to being on the go all the time, and that it stressed her out, and she just had a stressful moment. But they talked it out and said, "Oh, okay, well that's fine. Just don't let it happen again." Pretty much, I could understand you're stressful, but you could be legendary. You're only 23. You could. He specifically said you're 23. If you work hard, you could retire at 31 with the money you'll make. But that was before, and who knows? I don't know if they'll get into the drug thing, or the failed test. I don't know if they'll get into that because she failed 2 back to back,
Yeah,
and
but
she's
we don't.
still not on wrestling. So
Yeah, but neither is Eva Marie. So, um,
true.
yeah, I don't know, man. I question the validity of the drug testing. not saying that I'd taken Paige's side or anything like that. The it's like you said, a few months back, man. You could feel it for just not showing up. So it just, I don't know, man. She doesn't look like, and we've seen her like recent photos and pictures of her. Like she doesn't look like a meth addict or a drug addict. Like I don't,
Or alcoholic or anything like
or
that. Yeah.
alcohol. Like she looks good. Like I just saw her today and she looks good. So I I don't know, man. I don't know, but I know what show you did miss.
What?
That 205 Live.
Necessarily missed it.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
miss anything. I definitely don't regret not watching 205. I did watch NXT, but I definitely don't regret because it's just. I'll give it a chance eventually, but
Man, you need to watch it this week, man. This week was was flipping fantastic, man. It was fantastic. Yo, that Austin Aries on commentary is so flipping crazy, man.
so is he done?
Austin Aries?
Yeah, he's just. I know
Nah,
he's letting his eye heal for a couple months, but
that's not his eye, bro. He's I didn't even tore something.
oh, you didn't see what happened to him?
Oh, I saw that, but that's not why he's out. It's like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he tore something. I don't recall what it was, but he tore something and he's out for like a few months. So, but yeah, dude, like there, God, he is. So you remember back in the day, like Bobby Heenan was notorious for doing this, man. When the commentator would say something like racy,
Yeah.
dude, Austin Aries is all over it, son. He's all over.
Right.
Yeah, man. So apparently Alicia Fox is dating Cedric Alexander, and they had a segment
Hmm.
back. They had a segment backstage, and Alicia kissed Cedric Alexander. Went to the ring. He had his match. So and his match was against Noam Dar, and who would you expect to win that match?
Cedric.
Of course, right? Because you gave the guy some
Yeah.
airtime and whatnot. Oh man! First off, that match was amazing. Like both of those guys can go. That match was amazing. Cedric Alexander looked like he was going to win that match until he didn't, and and not only did he lose that match. Oh man, the one of the not commentators, but one of the interviewers, she came into the ring to interview Noam Dar, and Noam Dar is like, his pretty big victory, a pretty surprise victory. What would you like to say to it? Noam Dar, man, he tells her, well, I would like to dedicate this match to Cedric Alexander's girlfriend, Alicia
Ooh.
Fox.
Ooh.
Yo, and
Ooh.
then not only did he send that, I mean, pure a genius. Like that was great. Austin Aries on the commentary says, "Man, I can't stand the way this guy talks. Like, he talks like he has a speech impediment." I was like, "Damn!" Oh, I was like, "Man, you're so wrong for that, man." And people on Twitter were giving him heat on that too, because he was it was like, man,
Yeah.
this dude's being racist, man. He's being racist. So that went on, and then the main event was Rich Swann versus the Brian Kendrick. Sorry.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, in a rematch. And guess who was on commentary?
Austin Aries.
Well, he was there, of course, but TJP,
Oh,
yeah, TJP was on commentary. So the match was phenomenal. It was great, but not as great as the bantering and the God. Austin Aries destroyed TJP on the mic, dude. It was it
wow.
was terrible. He
How
tells
did TJ?
dude, he had no, like, when I say destroyed, I mean destroyed. He sat there and he sat there and and it looked like Corey Graves even got a dig in, which was pretty terrible too. But he's like, so, you know, who would you rather win this match? Who would you rather fight? Switch Swan or, the Brian Kendrick? And TJP was like, well, we should really be concentrating on the match, guys. Instead of worrying about that. He said, man, if I was Austin Aries, bro, he said, if I was good enough to go, I would take them both on instead of going back and playing with Pokeballs. I was like, dang.
Wow, burn.
Yes, dude, it was all night, dude. I'm talking about 20 minutes destroying TJP on the mic, dude. Like, go back and just watch that. That was just flipping amazing, man. So yeah, wow. That was good.
All right, maybe for the insight, maybe for the jokes, I'll watch.
Dude, the commentary is great. It feels like old school wrestling. The crowd, it's there's nothing we can do about the crowd, man. It's maybe try taping it before SmackDown, before SmackDown gets aired on the air, like they do Superstars or whatever. Or I honestly, I wish they would go back to Full Sail, man. Just a smaller venue with people who actually like the product. I think will do justice. Like, the wrestling was on point. They started to introduce storylines in there, which was great, and the storylines actually were great. Jack Gallagher and Tavari, that match was amazing. They told a story on there. 205, it's amazing. It really is, man. It's a work of art. It's in the wrong venue, and that's what is making it suffer.
Yeah. All right, maybe I'll give this thing a shot. No time soon, but maybe I'll give it a shot. As long as the next time I hear if Austin Aries is on the mic, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, you gotta watch that Austin Aries, man. He was great. So
yeah, well, that's all I got for this week.
Yeah, let me hit some shout outs real quick, man. So we has a lot of interactions, and we're almost at that first milestone of 100 followers on Twitter. So, you listen to this, guys. First off, thank you so much for everyone who's followed us. We definitely really appreciate that. Let me go ahead and give some shout outs to our recent followers. First off, I want to give a shout out to Mauro Ronaldo for responding to us, telling us that he's not going anywhere, and then retweeting that. So I appreciate that. So we're going to start with Cosmio Solido. Appreciate you, bro, for retweeting and liking and joining us. Stuttering Loudly is actually a comedian in the UK. Appreciate you, joining. Great Scott is actually a podcaster himself, and he's graciously agreed to join us on the podcast in future episodes. So appreciate you. Robert Evans, Lance Lazulu, Isaiah McGraw, or @real_Isaiah. Appreciate you. Craig Rigsby, thanks for following. And Jenny 1154, not to be confused with Jenny from the block, and Austin Zink. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, go out and follow those guys. And then while you're following them, go ahead and follow me too at Ben_Goosen. Ben_Goosen. Hit me up anytime. Just random thoughts, questions, whatever it is, whatever it do. What it do? Sage, what's your information?
It's your boy Sage the Mark. You find me at Sage the Mark on Twitter. Don't forget to follow @Real Rod. Gotta edit that piece out. @Real Wrestling. No, it's not even that. @Real WrestleCast on Twitter. Or just visit our website, guys. www.IRWP.us has all of our tags, our Instagrams. It's got our Patreon. It got everything in there. You just go and follow. Let us know how you feel about the products. what you want to hear, and we didn't even get into the random topics. We're gonna have to send that for now. Yo, y'all go out if you're still looking for holiday gifts. You guys go out and get that Amazon Echo. They ain't paying us to say this, but that is probably one of the best gifts you ever have. So go and see it. But best of all, guys, we love you, but keep it real.
And go get the Echo and the Fire Stick. I'm out.
Ah, sucker.